Hey guys, it's Ted Bogert. We're back with the Ted Show. Very excited to have a friend of mine's daughter on the show. I have to throw that in because I want Dad to feel like he's loved and respected, Joe Brown. But the beautiful Brittany Brown is on the show today. We're going to talk about true beauty is reflected in the soul. I love that quote. I saw what you put in there. It's awesome. Talk about finance, photography, and of course, she is a model. And so we have this big contest going on with Ocala magazine, and we want to support her. So welcome to the show, Brittany.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
I'm excited to have you. Your background's perfect. You look good. You look great. So tell us a little bit about you. It's always great if the viewers can learn more about you personally, kind of your journey, and then we can talk about how you are, because you listed them, photography, finance, and modeling all together. That usually doesn't seem to go together. So I can't wait to see how you are making that work. So tell us a little bit about you.
So I'm an undergrad at UCF.
Go Knights! Charge on!
Go Knights! Charge on! I'm currently studying business, and the intention is to be a financial analyst. So I know we were discussing earlier about how it was big for a lot of men to go in finance to be a big stockbroker, but now I'm kind of trying to take that role, and we'll see where it takes me. It's a lot of numbers, though.
What's a financial analyst do? What does that do? Is that like a financial planner or stocks, bonds?
It's analyzing anything for a company and just kind of directing where they should invest their money to. So looking at a lot of charts.
I'm not a math person, so I mean, even though my degree's in finance, we talked about that earlier. So when you say that stuff, I go, la, la, la. I have no idea what anybody's talking about. But I love, we need more qualified people in those arenas. And so kudos to you. Why did you choose that?
To be honest, I'm not exactly sure. I've had some family members who were kind of involved with it a little bit, and then in fifth grade, they came to our class. There was a bunch of brokers who came in, and they were like, "Well, we're going to show you how to do the stock market," which is crazy to do for a bunch of fifth graders. But I ended up loving it and doing a bunch of simulations. Even working, my parents used to own a restaurant, and in between kind of helping out there, I would work on the simulation and just fell in love with it. So here we are now.
It takes a special brain. You have a gift, honestly. That's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm hoping it works out. I love it. So but it is a lot of charts.
It's interesting because finance has changed so much since I got my degree before you were born, which makes me need to have a cocktail after this. But you are in a new world. Everything's new. COVID makes it new. You have challenges, things that you're going to be entering into the financial world that I didn't have to deal with.
It's crazy, especially with doing finance. With the way the stock market was for a brief moment there, that was definitely like a big learning lesson. Mostly just to stay out for me because I didn't know enough to be a part of that. But right now,
so how about photography and modeling? So it's one thing to be in finance, right? And then you've got that right. What is that? Left brain. Allegedly it's where all the numbers go, which is why my left brain is completely empty. You also, though, right brain stuff is photography, modeling. How did you get into that? Have you always been interested, or is this something that developed over time?
Photography I've always been into. That was kind of my creative side. And as far as modeling, I was working at Ulta, and just a local Ocala woman. Her name is Leighton, actually. She's awesome, and I love her. Leighton Okus came in and was like, "Hey, we're doing this like fashion show for at the Appleton Museum. You should be a part of it. We'd love to have you." And from there, I just built a network and started getting jobs here and there from that.
So you are actually doing photography for other people. I didn't realize that. So you had a business, so you've got an eye for the camera in front and behind, apparently.
So photography is mostly a hobby. I don't make any money from that.
Modeling is where you have
modeling is where I'm. Yeah.
So I know all dads think their daughters are beautiful, and your dad is no exception to that. And you are beautiful. It's one thing to have that look, but there's also a whole confidence and poise and grace that goes into it. So it's one thing to love it and want to do it. It's another thing to make it in it. So what have you done to kind of build up that resume of yours in the modeling world?
For the most part, just connecting with photographers who have the same mindset that I do. A lot of the times the photographers have their own style and I pick ones that match mine, and then just having fun with it. I feel like if you have fun with it, you really can't fail, even if you don't make it big.
Well, there's all sorts of things. How do you feel about the Photoshop and all that good stuff? I tell them to take as many of my chins out as they possibly can when I'm getting photographed. But I'm an older guy with cheeks. You are not. You don't have that problem. So how do you figure out what do I brush? What do I work on? How do I light it up correctly? There's a whole process that goes into it.
Do you mean from like a photography standpoint or modeling?
From you as the person. I mean, you shine. You're the one that shines, and so the photographer has to kind of capture that shine. And it's hard. I know it's not an easy thing. I think people underestimate how much work it can be to pose in front of the camera all day long or for hours at a time.
Right. For the most part, I think everybody would prefer if they didn't need Photoshop, but I think certain touch-ups here and there are always a big thing. For me, as long as the features that I like about myself or the things that I think would draw people in the most aren't edited out, then it doesn't really matter. I think that's the most important thing, because you're trying to capture beauty in somebody and why you chose that specific model. You don't want to cover that up with computer stuff.
Well, I agree with you. I love your quote, which comes from, which you can share with us, true beauty is reflected in the soul. I feel like a lot of photography is about capturing that, a lot of modeling is about the photographer capturing the essence of that person, and that person be able to show what their soul is, show their inner beauty, because when that comes out, it's magic.
Yes, that was the point. It's actually an Audrey Hepburn quote, and she is gorgeous. She's beautiful, very poised, elegant, carries herself well, and I think that's the most important thing. It's not about how you dress or what you can show off. It really is. It's the look you have. It's the look in your eyes and what it's showing. You know, the beauty coming out of you, which can't be taught.
Agreed. And so let's though, for everybody who's listening, modeling is where you make $1 million a day and you're on the beach and it's all glamorous and everything's fantastic.
Oh, wouldn't know.
I think that's why I want people to understand that there is work involved, and there is work involved on your part, not just, it's not all makeup and smoke and mirrors. You really do have to work. Some of the shoots are uncomfortable. Look, if you've ever been posed for a prom or homecoming picture, you know the pain of doing this, and then the picture turns out beautiful. So there's a lot of work that goes into it. Was it what you were expecting on the work side?
I'm usually always just having a good time. I'm usually pretty excited. Now, I'd be lying if I said I didn't have a few that were a little uncomfortable. We're in Florida, so anything outside can get hot pretty quickly, and yeah, it can be like that.
So what do you want to do?
Like I said,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, for the most part, though, I think it's just good that when you're out there, you're just having a good time and creating an artsy environment, and just, you know, if you're happy with it, it shows in the pictures too.
What do you want to do long term with it? Do you want to continue down that path? Do you want to have a life of finance and a life of modeling with photography thrown in there as the hobby? What's your long term goal?
All of them, all three. It's a balance, you know, because like you said, the finance is a lot. It's a lot of numbers. It's a lot of charts, and modeling and photography are kind of my creative outlet. So if I can have all of them, why not? Right?
Isn't it unique to find a model who also is comfortable behind the camera as well? I think that must give you a great insight.
It does. That's where it started. I got a cute little Nikon single shot white camera when I was a kid. And from there, any vacation we went on, I was always snapping random pictures and loved that. And then when I grew up and I started seeing women who were modeling, of course, I think this is what a lot of girls want to do. It was like, wow, I can blend all of these things together: the photography, the art, the camera. So
love that. It also probably gives you a deeper understanding when the photographer is speaking instructions to you. You understand what they're saying.
It does, yeah. And sometimes I kind of hope that I can help them out and give that to them before they have to ask me.
Agreed. All right, so let's talk about Ocala Magazine. Tell me about the magazine, the contest. Brittany has already in the comments put the link because we have a call to action today. So tell us all about it.
Always. So basically, they did it last year, and this year they are doing a contest for Ocala Magazine. Whoever has the most votes gets to be the cover for September. So I have put the link in the bottom. You can go ahead and click on it. Make sure you click the picture and click like, share it with all of your friends. And if you want to see me on the cover, that's how you get me there.
So what was this like? You had to take your own pictures and then you had to submit them for review.
Well, I submitted pictures from past jobs, and then they emailed me and they were like, okay, you're in. And then I came in for another shoot. So then everybody had a shoot after that because we all had to dress in certain clothing to make it as even as possible.
And so when does voting end? Because I think it's really important. You guys, I want you to click on that. It's in the comments. And then when Brittany and I both share the show this afternoon, we'll also put it in there again so that you guys can't miss it. But what's the cutoff? What's the deadline? When do we find out the great news?
So August 12th at noon. So not 12:01, but noon. August 12th that's the cutoff. That's it, and they'll pick then. So
at that point, you'll have to come back on when you get your prize. Is it a prize? You get the cover. That's big.
The cover. Yeah.
Cover's actually really a big deal.
It's awesome. Yeah. And I think it's most important because it's my hometown and I love Ocala. I love living here. I love being here. So what better way to support it and be a part of it than to be on the magazine they have.
And then after you graduate, what's the plan? Are you planning to stay in Ocala, get a job in Orlando where UCF is? Do you want to travel? What's your goal right after graduation?
I have it pretty open. I would prefer something in Ocala, but if something else opens up, I'm always down for that too.
I love it. All right. Best way for people to reach you. Is it on social media? Is it Instagram, Facebook? What's the best way if somebody wants to check out Brittany? We already have the link for the magazine, but learn from you and see what you have going on. What's the best way?
Probably Instagram. I have two different Instagrams. I have one that's specifically for modeling, and I have a personal. I don't know if you have the link for that, but Instagram is probably the best way.
So we'll post that. We will share that. Both Brittany and I will share the link so you can check her out on Instagram. Check out the good stuff that she's doing. We want to get behind local people who are trying to do amazing things. And you've obviously got this really cool mix of backgrounds. And we want to see you succeed. So I encourage you all to vote. The link is in the comments. It's Ocala Magazine. If you can't find it, you can't do it, reach out to Brittany, reach out to me. We'll absolutely help you along. I'm really excited for you. I think it's going to be awesome. I think we're gonna drive in the votes and get you to the top and get you on that cover.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm excited and I love being here. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Brittany Brown, and hi to Dad. And we'll talk to you guys later. Vote Brittany Brown. The link is in the comments. Support local and support people who are trying to do something better for themselves and make progress. And this is what Brittany's trying to do. So thanks for being on the show, Brittany. Thanks to your dad.
Thank you.
We appreciate you guys. See you later.